So this video is gonna go one of two ways. Either people are gonna understand where I'm coming from, or people are gonna now assume that I am one of the biggest transphobic transgender men. I guess the choice will be yours. I do want to start off by saying I have the stomach bug. Yeah, I indeed have the stomach bug. This has been on my mind for a really long time, and I don't know if people have noticed. Some of you guys might have, some of you guys might not have. I haven't been posting the way that I normally do. I don't really have a set schedule of when I post. I've been just repurposing a lot of content from TikTok and just kind of posting my TikTok posts all over on Instagram and on my YouTube shorts, and just been keeping up with my platforms like that. And sometimes on here on this YouTube channel I've been saying, hey guys, I'm not posting this week because of blah blah blah. All reality, I just haven't been in the mood to post, because when I post I want to be completely authentic and honest, and I feel like I haven't been able to be, so I didn't feel the need to post. Where I'm getting at is, I do not like the direction that the trans community is going on the internet at all. And the reason I say on the internet is because I feel like the internet is just really extra in whatever, like not even just trans topics, but just in general. I am holding our community, meaning the trans community, accountable for some of the reasons why things are happening the way they are. I know it sounds crazy coming from someone who is a public figure in the trans space, but I feel like it brings that much more importance to my message because of that reason. To bring it back a little bit, the reason I started posting my female to male transition was more so for my own benefit, for my own self. I wanted to know later down the road what my journey looked like all these years. I wanted to document it kind of like a journal, but through video and pictures. The other reason I decided to document my journey is because I came from a very small, conservative, primarily white town. That's where I was raised, that's all I knew, and so none of us, including me, were very educated on diversity, whether that be LGBTQ or whether that be black people, Asian people, all different types of people outside of the white race. And so I used the opportunity to share my experience as an African-American transgender person in a very primarily white, cisgender, heterosexual environment to say, hey, I am not the average person. I'm a little different, so I want you guys to see. And so that was the other reason why I started documenting. And by no means did I think that people outside of that space were going to find my page and my social media pages. It just kind of happened, and then the rest was history. My initial reasoning for becoming a public figure was not even really for the public, besides my hometown, my small little dainty hometown. So it was out of my control. But then when it did happen, I realized I was impacting a lot of people who were just like me. And that made me feel good, knowing that I could help people that were just trying to find the same resources and kind of have an idea of what their future was going to look like if they decided to physically transition. So it made me feel good. It was a good thing. And back then, being trans, of course trans people existed far before me and far after me. And there are trans people who are just now babies that don't even know in the future they will be trans. So I'm not saying that transness started at a certain time period, but what I'm saying is being trans was nothing like it's become now. I really feel like being trans is too easily accessible for the wrong people, and it's not good, and it puts a bad name on our community. Even when I started my transition, which was now over 8 years ago, it was still pretty easy to have access to testosterone. And I mean, I know I'm trans, there's no question about it. I don't regret it, but how would that doctor have really known? They did not really have a lot of steps to start. So that's just number one. Number two, I feel like it's become so overhyped to be transgender, and I don't know why. Because I will tell you guys right now, I don't like being transgender. Now, I know that sounds crazy. This is not me saying, hey, I'm detransitioning, because I know some of you guys on the wrong side of YouTube are like hoping and praying this is what this video is about. No, it's not. I'm trans. I always will be. But I don't love being trans. I've just learned to love the situation and the cards that I was dealt with. That's the difference. And that's all I've ever been trying to, I guess, advocate for in this community, in this space, is to say, hey, if you're dealing with a situation similar to this, understand, yeah, it's probably not the best. Like, and I'm sorry, anyone that says that being trans is like awesome, amazing, they're bullshitting you. Like, in a perfect world, no one would want to be transgender for an abundance of reasons. Because one, it can be dangerous, it's scary, it's mind confusing. And so anyone that tells you that they love being trans is bullshit. I don't care. But yeah, I don't enjoy it. It's just I've learned to love the cards I was dealt, because this is my reality. The overhype of being trans online now, I understand where it was starting from. It was starting from, hey, be prideful, be proud of who you are. But it's turned into, hey, be this. And I don't agree with that. Because now there are so many people who are detransitioning or are using that time to shine and say, oh, I found God and I changed back. Like that. No, that's not the reason. The reason is because you were never trans to begin with. And now you realize you're not. And now you're using it in a sense of like, oh, like I made a mistake. Pay attention, guys. Like, you don't want to go down that path. Like, trust me, I know I wouldn't want to go down this path, but this is my path. This is my reality. And that's the difference. For most of us, it is our reality. It is not I tried it, I experimented, it wasn't really for me. This isn't a taste test. Like, this is genuinely who people are. And I feel like the internet has changed the whole perspective of that. Another thing, like, the list goes on, you guys. Another thing is, this might be touchy for some people to hear, and I'm no doctor to like prove it fact or not fact, but for me, myself, I have already come to terms with the idea that I believe I have a mental disorder behind my gender dysphoria, because being gender dysphoric it's a mental health problem. And I use the word problem loosely because it's not like a genuine problem that's like harming me in any way, but it is a problem. So to me, it's no different than the other things that I suffer from, like anxiety, depression, slight anger problems. If you test me, it's just a mental health disorder, and I've come to terms with it. I accept it, and I think that's what has helped me learn to love the situation I'm in. Now, a couple weeks ago, I made a post expressing myself and how I understand that I am different, as most people are. But what makes me different is that my sex, my biology, is a female. Nothing can change that. I will always be a female. No matter what hormones I take, no matter what surgeries I have, no matter what pronouns I change to, and no matter what I change my name to. I will always be female. But my gender, in my head and what I believe, I am a man, mentally. I can't help it. If I could, trust me, I wouldn't do it. Like, I would not do it. I don't enjoy this. And it's crazy that people think that, like, we do. But it's because some people are online making it out to be like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Bullshit. It's just one of those things where I wanted to express myself because, you know, this is my platform. And I said it. I was like, hey, I am female. For the first time in 8 years of me documenting my story, I had so many people chew me apart in the community because they are so in denial about their self that they started to get offended by the fact of who I am. And never, ever, ever am I trying to side with the transphobic people. And I know some people are going to take this out of context and say, you're just trying to be a pick-me on the transphobic side. You're just giving them more reasons to call us these names. But this is why we get called delusional. Because at the end of the day, if you were biologically born one thing and you transitioned to another, the whole term transgender, the whole beginning of the word is trans, meaning transition. And you're out here telling people, no, I was meant to be this, or no, I didn't fight all this fight to still say I'm this. At the end of the day, it's your reality. I wasn't saying that you have to go out and say, hey, put a post-it note on your forehead and say, hey, I live as a guy, but biologically I'm a female. I'm just saying within yourself, understand your reality. I'm just saying internally, understand your truth. And that day just really opened my eyes. That day I was ready to quit social media because I was like, this is getting crazy. Like, this is embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. Like, I fight so hard to vouch for our community. I fight so hard to be a public eye, put myself in danger, and I'm not trying to boo-hoo about, like, I know I have the choice to do this online stuff, but at the end of the day, I keep spinning. At the end of the day, I put myself in a vulnerable position to share my story and share my experience. At the end of the day, it's my experience. So if I want to call myself a female all fucking day, I'm gonna do it. It really broke my heart to see so many people in the community, and I don't know if there was a coincidence, but it was really transgender women that were just barking down my throat about who I am and how, like, they were calling me stupid and all these crazy names. And I told my girlfriend right then and there, I was like, I'm ready to quit social media. Like, that really hurt my feelings. Like, when the transphobic people call me out of my name or like tell me I'm this and that don't bother me. I don't care what they say because they're scared of change. They're scared of different. Like, it is what it is. They can boo-hoo behind the screen as they always do. Because at the end of the day, they've yet to touch me. But when people in my own community who I've been trying to fight for and help all of these years turn on me just because of one thing I said, because in my head, in my body, I know it's a fact, really hurt me. And it really just showed me a different side of the LGBTQ community that I was not ready to see. But I saw it, and I'm kind of happy I did now, because I don't know, like, the direction it's going is just really concerning. I don't know if it was just a coincidence, but I came across some YouTubers and they share a lot of viewpoints that I do, and I'm happy I discovered them because not a lot of people have the view that they do, or they're too scared to say it. And I know that there are a lot of trans people who are afraid to speak on these conversations, because that day when I made that post about how I know I'm a female, a lot of trans people were like DMing me on the low, like, hey, I completely agree. This is why I don't like to talk about it, because the trans community can be just as, if not more, toxic than the transphobic community. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the reality. I came across these two YouTubers. One goes by the name of Buck Angel, and the other goes by the name of The Offensive Tranny. You may know both of them. I know Buck Angel doesn't have the best reputation in the trans community for whatever reason. So I went and watched some of his videos, and I watched him and The Offensive Tranny make a collab video on YouTube the other day, and I could not find anything wrong with what they were saying. This might make people turn their head from my channel now, and if it does, I wholeheartedly respect it. I encourage you to unsubscribe, because this is how I view it. This is how I see our community. Pretty much what they say is just like, at the end of the day, the trans community, like, we want all this love and acceptance, and we want to be prideful and proud, but none of us are showing to be prideful or proud. We're showing a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, and I know some people are going to say, well,
you have to understand the things we deal with every day.
Hey, trust me, I know I'm trans. But how are we going to ever win a fight by being just as hateful, if not more hateful, than the people who are against us? Really trying to say that you don't understand your biology and your makeup because you're so far in your transition that now you want to pretend, oh, well, technically, I've never gotten tested for my chromosomes. I could have a Y. Be for real. It's so frustrating. We need to make sense of ourselves before we can make other people make sense of it. Again, like I was saying, I don't really know what direction my channel's going at this point, and I just wanted to give you guys an explanation as to why my content has been lagging, if you've even noticed. And I actually made another YouTube channel. You guys might already know of it because I had some of you guys subscribe to it, but I made another YouTube channel that has absolutely nothing to do with being trans, because I want people to learn about other parts of my life, other things that I go through on a daily basis that a different audience can relate to, and even people in the trans community can relate to. For example, my anxiety and my day-to-day life, my work-life balance, and being a parent, things like that I know other people can relate to and would like to hear about. I love our community. I always will. I'm always going to be a part of it. At the end of the day, I'm going to make myself happy by being real with my own thoughts, my own mind. I can't continue to make content that's going to make certain people happy. Like, I'm making content for me. That's how it started, and that's how it's always going to be. And whoever aligns with that, aligns with that. That's kind of how social media goes. And it's turned into this place where, well, I don't agree with this viewpoint, so you're canceled. I don't agree with this viewpoint, so I hate you. Like, it shouldn't be like that. We are all human. We all have our own minds. And my main thing is, at the end of the day, if our community, the trans community, wants respect, we have to be fucking rational. Whew. If this hurts people's feelings, or if this makes me transphobic, then so be it. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I know this is kind of out of character for my personality, but I'm sorry if I came off a little aggressive, but sometimes to get my point across, I need to. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys.